Why are you calling your podcast Half Forgotten History, Trey? What's that all about?
Real simple, and thank you for allowing me to talk about that.
You're welcome, Trey.
You know, Rich, if you do this long enough, and you hang around with guys like you hang around with Michael and Kurt and Mooch and all those guys, and I've hung around with, Brewski and Damien and Ryan Clark and Stink and a bunch of other people, Darren Woodson.
Randy Moss.
Half the best stories that you hear never make air. They're all the stuff you talk about when you're in the green room before the camera and the lights go on or the mic is on, or when you're out to dinner at the Super Bowl and someone drops a bomb story on you over a cocktail or two, and you're like, man, we got to tell those stories.
Yes.
So the whole premise of the show is, thanks to our sponsors, State Farm, McDonald's, and Maker's Mark.
Look at you.
We're chopping it up. We're just sitting down talking ball about some of the greatest things in the greatest moments in the game that I know and you probably know, but not everybody else knows.
So there has to still be stories with you just mentioning, the Golden Arches and things like that. You still have to keep under wraps, I imagine.
Oh yeah, we had Darren on, Darren Woodson, and I said, "What's the story you can tell about the Cowboys of the '90s without getting yourself or your best friends arrested?"
Yes. Well, we told.
Can you imagine the Cowboys of the '90s in social media?
Oh my!
Can you imagine?
God, Trey. Do we tell the Kevin Barlow story that Mooch once told off the air? We actually got on the air because we actually had Matt Willig, the player turned actor. You've seen many times in the old "What's in Your Wallet" commercials. The Capital One commercials plays one of the Vikings in it. At any rate, I'll tell this story. What the hell?
Yeah, why not?
It's a new audience on Peacock, too. They might not know it.
Of course.
So Mooch told this story. This is one of those one of those stories that you can't tell on the air, and Mooch would never tell it. Refused to tell. He wouldn't tell it because he's, above board, but he has told the story.
Right.
Kevin Barlow, the old running back of the San Francisco 49ers, was homesick a lot, and he was on his cell phone all the time. And one time, Kevin Barlow comes into the office to complain about the fact that Matt Willig and the offensive linemen were so upset by him being on his cell phone all the time, they confiscated it from him and then stuck it where Matt Willig's, the sun does not shine on Matt Willig. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Well,
and
actually,
that's why they invented phone soap, by the way.
Yes, indeed. Well, I guess the proper preposition for it would be up, which is where they stuck it. And I told this story on the air. I had Willig tell this story. Mooch was so upset that the story was told on the air, especially since the punchline of the story that was confirmed is that Mooch demanded Willig, after demanding if it was true or not, confirming the truth of this sordid tale, made Willig give the phone back to Barlow, who was 60 seconds later seen making a phone call.
Please tell me he had handy wipes.
I don't believe, I don't know.
Well, mid-90s.
That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. That was the story.
Well,
so you should have Mooch on your show. Have Mooch on. He is filled with those stories. Oh,
I plan on it.
Gosh. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.